Meta Platforms is scheduled to report quarterly financial results after the stock markets close on Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. That has a lot of investors asking if they should buy the stock before the company announces earnings. I'll answer that question in this video. This is becoming especially important as President Donald Trump implemented tariffs on trading partners worldwide, and that's causing a stock market reaction to the downside. Major companies are down several percentage points, and some companies are going to be directly impacted by the tariffs, and others, like Meta Platforms, are more indirectly impacted from these tariffs. I'll discuss all of that in my conclusion for answering if the stock is a buy before the company announces earnings.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So in their latest quarterly reported results, which were revealed on January 29th, 2025, Meta Platforms discussed their quarterly figures for Q4 2024. And it was a really strong quarter. Revenue increased by 21%, operating income increased by 43%, and earnings per share were up by 50%. In addition, several critical metrics improved for Meta Platforms. The family daily active people count increased by 5% to over 3.3 billion. Over 3.3 billion people are using one of Meta Platforms' app. Now, that could be double counting some people that are using more than one app, but still, it demonstrates the point of the massive scale of reach that Meta Platforms has worldwide. The number of ad impressions delivered across their apps increased by 6% and 11% for the fourth quarter and the full year 2024. That means not only are more people using Meta Platforms app, but they're also engaging with the platform more often for more time. That allows more opportunities to show advertisements, which increases the amount of revenue that Meta can generate. And then most impressively, the average price per ad increased by 14% and 10% for the fourth quarter and full year respectively. Typically, when I see increases in supply, the price is lower. But Meta Platforms is generating an increase in the supply of advertisements shown, and they're also increasing the price that they're receiving for each advertisement shown. That's really impressive. That demonstrates that Meta Platforms is learning how to target advertising more effectively, which is resulting in marketers' willingness to pay higher prices for these advertisements. And that's great news for Meta stock investors. Looking ahead for the first quarter of 2025, Meta Platforms is forecasting revenue in the range of about $40 billion, which would be growth of about 12% at the midpoint year over year. Now, while they're not giving an outlook for the full year of 2025, they do expect that their investments in their core business will give them an opportunity to deliver strong revenue growth throughout 2025. They also expect expenses to increase to a range between 114 and 119 billion, and the single biggest driver of this increase is infrastructure cost. I've been talking about how much money Meta has been spending building out their data centers optimized for AI, and they're already seeing the benefits of those investments, so they're continuing and increasing those spendings. I mentioned how Meta Platforms is getting more effective at delivering targeted advertising, which is increasing the price per ad. That's a result of AI giving them better data, allowing them to target advertising more effectively. So they're already seeing the benefits of these investments. For the full year in 2025, they are saying that they're going to spend about $62.5 billion in capital expenditures, which will be mostly for artificial intelligence. Now, this will be on top of the $40 billion they spent in this category in 2024. So spending on AI is going to increase by roughly 50% for Meta platforms, and that's from a base of $40 billion. So this is a significant increase in AI spending. Now, all of these forecasts were before the announcements from President Donald Trump on the worldwide tariffs. What's likely to happen to all of these figures is they're going to be adjusted lower. When the company discusses their latest quarterly figures with Wall Street analysts on the date I mentioned in the beginning of the video, they're likely going to get asked a lot of questions about how tariffs are going to impact its business. Meta is likely to be indirectly impacted, meaning that while they don't have costs of goods, they're not a manufacturer of things, they are a social media app, a social media company, and so they're not going to be directly impacted. But the businesses that are buying advertising on Meta's platforms, they are going to be impacted, and they are likely going to decrease ad spending on Meta's platforms. And so indirectly, Meta will likely be impacted. I'm expecting Meta to decrease their revenue growth expectations for 2025. I'm also expecting them to decrease their planned spending, both in operating expenses and capital expenditures. If we don't see that, then that would be good news for Meta stock investors, because that would mean that despite these tariffs, Meta expects positive results. It could be that while the businesses that are spending with Meta decrease their percentage allocation, the overall price level will rise and thereby increase revenue for Meta platforms, because tariffs are inflationary. So nominally speaking, spending might go up by businesses and consumers worldwide. So is the stock a buy before earnings? Right now, they're trading at a forward price to earnings of 18.74, and my intrinsic value calculation, which if you're a member at the investor level, you get access to these. The intrinsic value per share is $556, according to my calculation, and the current market price is $544. So it looks to be a fairly valued business. And given the heightened level of risks associated with the tariffs, I would say it's more prudent to wait for the company to announce earnings before you purchase Meta Platforms stock. That is, of course, the stock price doesn't fall by much more. You can see here today's price change. Meta Platform stock is already down 6.8% today. If there's a bigger stock decline and Meta Platform stock were to fall by, let's say, another 10 or 15%, that would make a compelling case to buy Meta stock even ahead of the earnings results. But at the current prices, anywhere around $540 a share, I would say it's more prudent to wait until after the earnings results to purchase Meta stock. I'm excited to announce a brand new private Discord to our channel members at the VIP Discord tier. It's a great place to directly connect with me, ask questions, and engage with a community of like-minded investors. Spots are limited, so join us today.